Yo, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Planet Zoo video. ZookeeperChris here, and today we are going to show you how we got to this point here of our eco cruise ride. This is our first room in the dark ride. It is a cruise ride based off of the Living with the Land ride found at Disney World's Epcot in Orlando, Florida. And as you can see, it's going to be a speed build. So I'm moving at 5,000 miles an hour. It's gonna be a pretty chill, relaxed build. I'm just gonna go over everything that I'm doing in the video and just gonna do it live. No cuts on this video, so here we go. As you can see, putting in the live crocodiles. The ride does not have live crocodiles, but I figured, you know what, Planet Zoo, we can do it, so why not? It does come with its own set of problems, which you'll see here in a little bit with the crocodiles just getting in the way. But I figured if this gets added to the Steam workshop, you can choose not to put any live animals in there. And honestly, if it were me downloading this ride, I probably wouldn't because it's such a pain in the butt. But anyways, yeah, so figured it looked cool with the crocodiles, so I put them in for now. And I think I actually take them off later because they kept getting annoying when I was trying to test the ride and put water in and out. We do build this build here, we do it on stream every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 AM EST over at twitch.tv/ZookeeperChris. So if you ever have any questions about what I'm doing in these videos, or if you have any zookeeping questions, you want to talk to a real zookeeper, feel free to drop by, ask any questions you may have. We have an awesome, very welcoming community over there, and I'd be happy to chat with you. So I'll leave a link for that down in the description below. And you can see here, problem number one, the crocodile's in the way. So I just move her, and I think I just kick them all out eventually so I can just work in peace. But at the same time, I'm trying to get their welfare up, even though I don't know, do most of you guys, when you're playing sandbox, do you leave welfare on or off? For this here, I do all the habitats. I set them all up with the animals' welfare in mind. I'm pretty sure up to the point that we are live right now. So far, for what we have done to this point, at this exact point in time as I'm uploading this video, we have bison and peafowl along with the crocs in other areas, and I think all their welfare is fine with welfare turned on. So anyways, yeah, so starting to get the plants put in here, which is honestly like my favorite part of any type of habitat build, is putting all the plants in. I kind of get bummed when I work with animals in Planet Zoo that do not require many plants, like some of the African savanna animals or like ostrich and whatnot that like require zero plants at all. It's just so quick to do their habitats. And honestly, in real life with animals, they don't dislike plants. The only plants that we as zookeepers will not put in a habitat or take out of a habitat are ones that are toxic to the animals. But you know, if I put a fern inside of a crocodile habitat, the crocodile's not going to care if it's not from its native land or anything like that. So sometimes I think it's a little bit silly in Planet Zoo when the animals dislike plants, because that's just not how it is in real life at all. And yeah, I guess you could just turn off the welfare and be fine. But anywho, I'm going to try and not say anywho as much this video. I said it way too much last video, so moving on. You can see me here going to great lengths to decorate underwater. I think underwater a lot of times just does not get love, and I wanted it to look realistic, and I figured, you know what, there's plants that would grow under here even if there's no light in this habitat. Figured in a real river there would be plants underneath there, so I wanted to do what I could to put little foliage and whatnot throughout the ride. So you'll see me doing that throughout this entire build, and I put entire trees underneath the ground here to get just a wide variety of things poking up underground. I didn't just want grass, or I didn't just want one particular plant. So I go through all the different trees. I try to see what looks good. Some of the bushes, if you flip upside down, looks really good as well. So I flipped some bushes upside down. And yeah, I also figured with crocodiles in their natural habitats, there would be a lot of plants underneath the water. And I figured, I don't know, when I was doing this kind of stuff, I was thinking if there were little baby crocodiles that hatched out of their eggs, they'd probably be swimming around those plants underwater and catching little fish. So that's really why I wanted to do that in this build here as well. As I always just think about the animal's natural habitat and what it would look like and what those animals would need, what their babies would need. So kind of is why I did this here as well with the wooden logs, just more areas for little babies to hide in and catch little fish and whatnot. And I think these logs up that wash up along the water's edge just looks really natural. You see it pretty often in crocodile habitats. I would say no matter where, what area of the world you're in, wherever there's rivers, you'll find stuff wash up along the edge. And yeah, that's why I did that. Currently now we are looking at a way to cover up the walls. I didn't just want black walls all over the side here with the animals being in here. Honestly, I could have just done black walls and probably would have been fine, but I wanted to decorate it a bit. So trying a couple different methods, tried those rocks there, tried the bamboo, trying I think these are just vines. And I think the vines are maybe what we settled on, maybe vines with a mixture of the rock here. As you can see, I'm starting to put some plants on the rocks just so it looks a little more natural and not just boring rocks hanging out there, putting some vines and whatnot along the rocks as well. But I think that's kind of what we settle on, is a mixture of like a layer of rocks there and the vines, and we'll go back to that later. I think what I did was I couldn't settle on what I wanted to do for the sides, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start working on some other things and then come back to that as I build. So see, we start putting more plants in here. We did some stars up on the roof. I don't think I stick with those ones that are up there. We'll come back to working on those stars a little bit later as well. This is kind of the portion where I start jumping all over the place because I couldn't settle on one particular idea, whether it's the stars or the sides of the walls. So I do that quite a lot in this build, actually. If I get stuck on one part, it's kind of nice because I can go to another part of the ride and just start working over there and come back. Here, I think what I found was I needed a little more space for the crocodiles, so I just basically created an addition for them. And I was gonna at first make it like a hidden addition that the crocs could just go walking down, and it's kind of like, you know, cheating the game a bit, where it's like a hidden area that the crocs can go to without being in view of the guests. And eventually I just open it all up, I believe, and it worked out pretty well. You see me again moving all of the barriers out the way so they have access, and as soon as I built it, a crocodile started walking right back there. So I was like, okay, cool, she actually can fit back there now and uses it. And yeah, I'm just deleting all these extra pieces that we no longer need. Oh yeah, and all that walls that I worked on. A lot of times you'll spend a good amount of time working on something and then just not like how it looks and decide to delete the entire thing. It's kind of how building big projects like this work, I think. If you didn't already know, you didn't see our previous video, this is my first time building a quote-unquote like serious build. I don't really do too many big builds, so this is my first time and it's turning out really well so far. I can't wait till you guys see what's in the future. I think this area turns out really well, so you'll see that today. You'll see the end result of what we end up with here, but it looks really cool with just the whole jungle-y vibe and crocodiles in the jungle area here and whatnot. So anyways, working on some more plants. I really like the idea of hanging orchids off of trees, so I put a couple orchids, kind of like accent pieces on the trees. And I think I also do like banana leaves as well. In real life, I love banana palms and love putting them in my jungly habitats, so I use quite a bit of that there. Moving around some of their enrichment and just trying to make this as jungly as possible, trying not to use the same plants over and over, just trying to get a good variety of greenery going on here. And I think it's important to get a good variety when you're doing things like this. Oh, this is when so I wanted to put one butterfly in here, and then we went a little crazy, and as you can see, I put like 15 because anybody that was in chat this day, I let them pick a butterfly and color it how they wanted. and I put everyone's butterfly in the build. So that was really fun. Everybody who was there that day had a lot of fun picking a butterfly and decorating it. And you know, I think I let most people pick where their butterflies went as well. So never know when I'm gonna do that kind of stuff in stream as well. I always like to have good interaction with anyone who's there on stream. We do random animal facts throughout our stream, random animal noises, where those who are there try and guess what animal they can hear and things like that. It's a pretty good fun time. You always learn something new when you come over to one of our streams. And yeah, again, the link's down below if you want to check us out sometime. Feel free. I went a little crazy here with the stars, I admit. I just wanted to I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do a night sky. You look up and boom, there's just stars everywhere. And this is how it looks. And then when I lit them up, once I turned the lights off and I like changed the time of day, I was like, yeah, that's too much. Let's, you know, less is more with the lights here with the stars. So ended up putting just a few around up top. Yeah, like that. I went a little overkill to start. Starting to place some of these butterflies. There's a lot of butterflies, so I cut out where all of those go. I don't think I placed every single one here in the speed build, but they're all throughout the ride, and you'll see that at the end when we do our ride through. Starting to get on our rock work here. I like putting rocks along the sides of rivers. I don't like just plain barren river's edges. I think this just gives it much more natural and realistic look when you've got rocks and logs and whatnot up along the water's edge. So trying a bunch of different rocks, rotating them around just so they all look different and it just doesn't look like you have the same rock placed throughout the river's edge here. Checking on these guys, making sure that they can walk around everywhere. There are a lot of spaces that they can't walk, but there is plenty of space for them to meet their requirements if anybody does want to put in crocodiles in this display. I think I ended up with like, there's enough for quite a few crocs in this display, I'll say that much. Put some rocks underwater as well. The water for some reason looks super clear there, and now it's back dirty. I hate how that works. I wish you can kind of pick how clean or, you know, what type of water you have. I understand why you can't. It probably has to do with, you know, it has to do with like CPU usage and stuff, so whatever. Then this right here, this really just is like the icing on the cake for making a jungly section. Just putting mist around. This is where it really starts taking shape and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely mystical, mysterious, jungly area here with the crocs swimming through the mist throughout the ride. And I love it so much. And then I was like, how cool would it be if I could make it raining in here? So I put a sprinkler down. Didn't realize you can't rotate a sprinkler upside down and change the physics of the sprinkler, which was kind of sad. I thought that'd be so cool. I tried some random water jets. They all looked dumb. Tried a waterfall. That was way too intense. It's like some intense rainfall there. I just put waterfalls everywhere. So I eventually just settled for the fog throughout the forest here and just figured, you know what, that was enough. And yeah, it would have been cool to do some rainfall there, but no options like that yet in Planet Zoo. But we're coming along to the edge, or the end of the build here, just wrapping up with some more of our fog. And then to top it off, I put some ambient speakers throughout the ride as well. Just so when you're riding the ride, I figured you could hear sounds of the jungle. Figured it'd be cool addition and totally what you would have on any of the rides in real life. If you went on this kind of a ride, there would be ambient speakers around you, and I figured the crocs would like it as well. Anyways, that is it for the build. So here's a little drive through here where we're just going on a ride along with on the boat ride. Really cool. Did it at night. I figured this is how it would look in real life. The butterflies gave off so much light. I was really surprised. and I did not need to add any other sort of lighting to the area. The butterflies just did it all. And at first I was just adding butterflies as a decoration, just gonna add one, but adding all these butterflies with all these different colors just really made this entire area pop. And that's going to do it for today's video. I'll leave you with a few cinematic shots of this first completed room of our eco cruise ride. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, you can hit the subscribe button on the top left of this video. We upload Planet Zoo content here every week, and next week we'll be checking out the desert scene and the bison habitat of this build. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time, and as always, stay wild.